Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Arlethea. So we have essentially come full circle. So the first drawing I did was an elemental dragon, and now we're back to elemental dragons. So he's gone full circle for now. I might have some more series pop up, but we'll see. But for now, I'm enjoying this, that I finally have made it. So we are on a water dragon now. When I was doing these, because I have like other animals I want to draw like this, like with like elements. So I was debating on how I wanted to do that. I'm like, do I want to just stick with only fire and get through all of them? Or do different elements and stick with the same animal? So I was like, let me just stick with the same animal. So we're just gonna do dragons again. But for my elements, I have 16 of them. That's why I was debating this, because I was like, how much do I want to do this? But I also gotta figure out colors too. So it's probably better if I just do it this way. And so you can kind of get the whole like set eventually at some point in time. I have no idea when, but one day it will happen. But right now we're just doing the sketching part. So, I'm actually very happy with myself. I think this is my first try. My first and my second try doing this. Let me check. First try. Yay! So I'm trying to get it to where I only do a drawing in maybe like 1 to 2 tries versus like 3 or 4. Because I get to the point where it's like I've had the inking done and I look at it and I'm like, I hate it. And I have to start over again. And it just kind of drags everything back. But I actually did this in 2 days. So I'm actually like really happy about that. Because I kind of realized it like the second day and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost done. I was like, what? This never happens. So I got excited about that. But it's also nice just kind of just doing like a plain drawing like this too. So I'm glad for that because I need to, because I'm trying to help myself. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. If there's mistakes, there's mistakes. It's not the end of the world. Like, it is completely okay. So I'm trying to get that through my head. Sometimes it's difficult though, because you can't just look at it and you're like, and you look at somebody else's and you're like, see, and it's like, But comparisons are not good. We need to stop comparing. I need to stop comparing, that's for sure, because I'm very bad at it. Because if you compare less, you'd like your stuff more. But I don't know. I like my little dragon. I like how he turned out. Or she, sorry, she. I'm only saying she because these guys will actually appear. Well, they're gonna look a little bit different, but they actually are gonna be in my comics. Like they serve because my comics they use elements. So like they have like the elementals and stuff. Like they have stones, and what's living in the stones are the dragons. But again, they're gonna look a little bit different. They're not gonna be an entire dragon. So if you want to see what they look like, you can always I have actual pages I post on here too. I also have my Instagrams and everything. If you ever just want to like kind of go read them, I just only get still images. They're on my Instagram. It's Arlethea Comics _ yes. Um, but I only post the stills. But on here, I have like the progress of me doing it, and then I kind of like go through and just like show you all the panels up close. So they're going to tie back in eventually to the story. But with the coloring, I'm also trying something different. Because normally when I do the markers, I do 5 colors. I got a base, the actual color, and then like 3 like shading colors is what I do. So I'm trying something different because it looks very dark. The finish actually looks lighter than the right now, which is actually kind of cool. But because it just looks really dark, I was like, let me see if I can light it up some. But so you can still kind of tell where I have my highlights and the shadows at, because I don't like to do very light shading. I like to know it's there. I'm actually kind of happy with how some of the areas turned out with the shading too. I thought I did really cool with that. But I decided to just stick with 3 colors for the markers. A lot of these, like I kind of pick them randomly. I don't look, so I'm not using the same ones over and over again and ruin them. And I've only stuck with certain ones. So with these, I literally picked 1 light color and like 2 dark colors for each of the shadows, and I was like, that's not good. The white though, I actually did look to make sure I got like light grays and nothing dark, because dark grays would have ruined it. But yeah, I know the blues look very similar, unfortunately, but there's a slight difference, and the greens, they're all different, which was good. The whites were very light, though, but that's okay. We made it work. And then the colored pencil, I just stuck with my normal 5 colors, so that worked out well. But yeah, so the finish actually looks lighter than this right here, than all these colors, which is actually kind of funny. There are somewhat color differences, because I like to blend them. I don't really want the colors to uh, uh, be too noticeable, like, differently. So I like to put them all together and blend them out. That's why I like the Prismacolors whenever, because the markers I don't really care, because I put colored pencil on top of it. Yeah, some of it kind of looks wonky, but that's okay, because I just don't really need to blend them. Because if I was only using markers, I'll learn how to blend them. But since I'm not, it's okay. And sometimes the colors blend better than others. It might be just if I use the same brands together. Because I use a bunch of different kinds of markers. Because I have 2 sets. I have my Copics, which I use for just like comic characters that are like, oh, I fucked that up. Oh shit. I just realized I made a mistake. Oh no. Oh well. So what I was supposed to do, which I completely forgot about, was my Copic colors were supposed to be for dragons like these. I can use them over and over again. Oh well, it'll be fine. We'll just fix it next time. And then I have like a random set of markers, is what I call them, for like all the other drawings. So I can, it's just so I can keep my Copics, because I only have like 50 of them, but I have like 5 of each color group. Grays are an exception. Grays I have 10 of, because so I can keep them light and dark. Um, but I do that so that way when it's like comes to characters, I can use the same exact colors over and over again and keep it the same and cohesive. But when I just do like a random one-off drawing, which does not include this one because I fucked that up, but that's okay. I use my random markers because then it's only one time. Like I don't have to keep the same markers and use them over and over again. So that's why I'm kind of just now realizing I screwed that entire thing up. But he still looks really good, so it's not that big of a deal. Plus, the colored pencils actually kind of hide it because I use the same colored pencils essentially for like all the colors. So it's not really that big of a deal. But next time I need to remember that. Because I did. Oh, no, man. It's okay. He still turned out really cool. But like even on the shading on here, I think I actually did kind of cool. I did, well, not cool, but I did well. Because of the way I did it. Like I was trying to have like certain parts highlighted other than shadows. Because like how the wings are and like the way the head's kind of come over the body. And like trying to have them swimming. So yeah, there's a few mishaps here and there, but I think overall, I think the shading actually turned out really kind of nice. So overall, I'm kind of happy with him, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like I just want to not dwell on the same drawing over and over again. Like just get it done and go. That's the only way you're gonna get better. Is by just doing. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing's gonna change. Yeah, you'll get really good at it, but nothing else, and nothing's gonna change. So that's why I said, oh, okay, here we go. Oh, but I kept the bubbles white to make them kind of stand out more. So they were kind of annoying to do, but I was like, here. But I didn't put marker in them, so they weren't like, because they're already white, so they're gonna pop off. But overall, yeah, I like how he looks. So hopefully next time when I do another one of these drawings soon, I can do just as well. I'm trying to do better at the shading too. Just kind of have like more dynamic, I guess, so it's not like the same thing. But that's why I'm trying to think of like the movements of what's he gonna look like. But like on his neck, especially like his underscales, I actually kind of like how I did those where it's like only like lights hitting certain parts of it, not all of it. I think that looks really cool. Oh, and then like for his pattern, because like the fire dragon, I kind of try to do like the lava where it's like breaking up the rock. I don't know what that's called, but that kind of thing. Like on the volcano when what's coming down, the rocks are breaking apart. So you have the rock still and like the lava's in between. That's what I did for the fire dragon. So for here, I was like, well, he's water. So I tried to kind of do like a watery, like sea foam pattern, if you will. Like when the waves kind of come up and you have like all that sea foam that comes on. That's what I was trying to do. But that's also why I have the colors the way they are, because obviously blue for water. I decided to do white because like there's a lot of like, especially again with the waves, you know, when they come out, there's white, or like the sea foam is white, and then I just did green because of like sea foam green. I don't know. I guess because there's green kind of mixed in, you have like algae, so that's why I picked those colors. So some of the elements are going to be kind of tricky for me to figure out what colors I want, but I'll get there when I get there, I guess. But I kind of had him in my head for a while, what colors I wanted. And that's what we did. But overall, I think he turned out really well. Like, he's not too dark. Like, this is kind of what I need to go more toward, so I think only doing the 3 colors is actually probably better for the markers. And then I put the colored pencil on the top, because the colored pencil is actually going to help lighten it up some. So it does. It looks a lot better. So I'm like, I think I kind of need to stick with this more. Oh, but that top part up there, my hand's covering it, but where his wings meet on that very top with that rock and the way the water looks, I think that's my favorite part. It's just the way I did it. Like, I think it looks really good. But I kind of realized that after I did it, and I said, oh, I'm like, I actually kind of like how that looks. I didn't even intend for that. But it's because I put that, like, I just did the base color of the blue and then just put the colored pencil on top and the rocks and stuff. And I think it's just because it looks like there's light right there. And then there's, like, the rays of light, I guess, coming through. I didn't really like doing his head. It was kind of annoying. But, and then you have, like, the dark blues coming through. I don't know. I kind of liked how it looked. I didn't intend to do that. It just kind of happened. And I was like, that actually looks really cool. But yeah, I just didn't like his. I know I drew the head, but then I had to finish it, and I was like, ugh, there's just so much. That's also what happens whenever I do these. I just have a lot of detail, and after a while, I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. But I was almost done, so I was like, let me finish, because he was right there, and I was just happy I got it done in 2 days. I mean, I didn't work on him the entire time for the whole 2 days, but it's like over a period of, and I was like, I'm okay with that. So hopefully, I can keep doing this and do them in the like 2-3 days versus like a week, because sometimes I'm like struggling to hurry up and get the video done because I'm like, I didn't finish, because there are like times I'm like, I'm just not in the mood, you know. There are times. Other times I'm like, there's some weeks I'm like, yeah, let's get stuff done, and I go. Other times I'm like, I can't, just not today. So I end up doing other things or just being lazy and doing nothing. But I'm sure we've all had those days, you know. That just happens. That's okay. Don't always have to be super productive. But overall, as long as I can kind of keep doing this kind of stuff, I think I'll be fine, because I like how he looks. He looks nice. But again, I just think the color, like lighter colors, just look really good, like that, because they're not like super dark, but it's still enough that you can see where the shadows and the highlights are. So I kind of like it. And here we go, putting the detail back in. Woo! And then I just gotta paint out the edges, and then I'm actually done. But you don't see that part because that part's atrocious. I only started painting it because it's just gonna keep it dark, so my markers aren't dying on me. I just keep markers strictly for characters, not the borders, because the borders kind of suck up all the ink too. But yeah, I try to make his tail kind of like another like fin type of thing, or I guess a one flipper. But there's the final. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.